Hey, what's up everybody? Andrew here, and this is my full review on the late 2015 Dell XPS 15. This is a massive update to one of Dell's most popular line of professional notebooks. The Dell XPS 13 got a major redesign in early 2015, and it's been selling like hotcakes. Will the all-new refreshed XPS 15 take on the same success? Let's find out. Let's break down the specs of the XPS 15. They have a base model that retails for $999, however it has all the bare-bone components. The model we have here is the top of the line model. You get a 15.6 inch Infinity display, 16 gigs of RAM, 256 SSD, Intel Core i7 6700HQ, which is based on the all-new Skylake architecture, and you get NVIDIA 960M GPU with 2GB of GDDR5. This model retails for $1899. You can also upgrade to the 512GB SSD for $200 more. The design of the new XPS 15 is stunning. It's just like the XPS 13, and that's a great thing. The exterior of this notebook is made out of aluminum and it feels very premium, unlike last year's model which had a carbon fiber base bottom plate. The size of this notebook is breathtaking. With its sharp looking chamfered edges, it just looks gorgeous. The weight comes in at 4.4 pounds, and its thickest point is 0.66 inches. This is one thin, slick looking notebook. Here's a quick look at the bottom aluminum plate. Here goes your two bottom facing speakers, rubber feet, XPS service tag information, exhaust port for your fans, and your second row of rubber feet. I'm glad Dell made the switch from the carbon fiber base to this aluminum because it just feels more durable. The aluminum on the top section of this notebook is pretty sturdy and well built. There is some minor flex towards the middle section by the Dell logo. There is some keyboard flex towards the middle section, but keep in mind I am pressing down very firmly, so during normal usage you're not going to experience this kind of flex. Dell is marketing the XPS 15 as one of the thinnest and lightest notebooks on the market, and here's a quick size comparison to a 15-inch MacBook Pro. As you can see, it is slightly smaller than the 15-inch. Overall, I'm really digging this two-tone finish of the XPS 15. It just looks like a badass notebook. The interior features that super thin bezel, which Dell calls Infinity Display. This thing is so beautiful. The palm rest has a carbon fiber finish that features a soft touch coating that makes it a pleasure to use. Dell really took all the great ideas from the XPS 13 to improve the all-new XPS 15. They really knocked it out of the park in terms of design and build quality. Here are your ports on the left side of the notebook. Starting from the left, you got your AC charging port, USB 3, full-size HDMI, Thunderbolt 3/USB Type-C port, and your headset microphone jack combo. On the right side, you got your SD card reader, a USB 3, battery status indicator, and your Kensington security lock slot. Just a minor complaint, the SD card reader sticks out just about a quarter of the way. The hinges are sturdy, maybe a little too sturdy. Look how difficult it is to open with one hand. You're going to need support in order to open this notebook efficiently. Now let's compare it to the 15-inch MacBook Pro Retina. This one opens up with ease. Maybe as time goes by, the XPS 15 hinges will loosen up and will make it easier to open with one hand. Next up is display performance. This is a 15.6-inch display that Dell is calling Infinity Display. The 4K version I have is freaking stunning. Colors and text look very sharp. I've been highly impressed with the panel Dell has chose. The sRGB and Adobe RGB came in at a perfect 100%, which beats out the 15-inch MacBook Pro Retina. This is one of the best panels out there for video editing and photography. You're getting a display that is extremely accurate and it's just beautiful to look at. Touchscreen performance on this notebook has been extremely precise and accurate. Out of all the laptops I've tested, Dell notebooks usually have the best touch sensitivity. This is an IPS panel, so the viewing angles are excellent. If you're on the field working with coworkers, you're definitely going to enjoy the wide viewing angles on this panel. Only minor complaint I have is how reflective this panel is. I wish Dell would use a special coating like the 15-inch MacBook Pro. Speaking of the MacBook Pro, here's the comparison between that and the XPS 15. Take a look at the difference. You're getting a much higher resolution as well as a higher color gamut. Dell is just spanking the 15-inch MacBook Pro in terms of display performance. It's going to be interesting to see what Apple's response will be, because the current 15-inch MacBook Pro is long overdue. It's been the same notebook since 2012. For you guys out there that like to play with the display settings, Dell includes this program called Premiere Color. Here you can play with the color gamut, brightness settings, color temperature, and then you can save your profiles. The CPU powering this baby is an Intel Core i7-6700HQ based on the all-new Skylake architecture. This is a quad-core processor clocked at 2.6 GHz with turbo boost up to 3.5 GHz. The processing power from this chip is a freaking monster. This chip just screams at anything you throw at it. The GPU on this notebook is an NVIDIA 960M with 2GB of GDDR5. This GPU is pretty capable. It offers good solid performance for video editing, and you can play many of today's high-end games. This CPU/GPU combo will give you great performance for AutoCAD or anything that is heavy on 3D acceleration. For you gamers out there, you can expect to play games like Fallout 4 and Battlefield 4 on high settings at 1920 by 1080p. Next up, we're going to test out Battlefield 4 running at 1920 by 1080p on high settings with vertical sync on. So far the game has been running smooth like butter. I'm averaging around 55 to 60 frames per second. Now it's capped at 60 because I have VSync on, so keep that in mind. Certain scenes with a lot of action going on, it'll dip to around 51 to 55 frames per second. However, the overall user experience is still great. After 45 minutes of Battlefield 4 gameplay, the maximum CPU temp was 79 degrees Celsius, and the max GPU temp was 83 degrees Celsius. These temps are actually pretty good for a slim and light notebook. To test the external temperatures, we're going to use the Flare1 iOS thermal imaging sensor for the iPhone 6s Plus. Here are the external temps after playing Battlefield 4 for around 45 minutes. The hottest point is around the center at around 55 to 57 degrees Celsius. And the two exhaust vents will usually generate around 52 to 55 degrees Celsius. For you gamers out there, the WASD keys are usually around 42 to 45 degrees Celsius, and the palm rest is around 32 to 34 degrees Celsius. The trackpad on this notebook is large, and the surface offers good resistance. The performance has been great. Tracking, two-finger scrolling, and multi-touch gestures are smooth like butter. And by the way, the palm rejection does an excellent job. Thanks to the great Microsoft drivers, this trackpad is one of the best, right up there with the Lenovo ThinkPads and Apple's trackpads. Keyboard performance is great. The tactile feedback and response from the keys are good, but there is one issue. The key travel is just a tad short. It has the same key travel as the XPS 13 at 1.3 millimeters. With the extra space, I figured Dell could have made it at least 1.5 millimeters. That would have been an improvement in my book. With that being said, I've been using this laptop for the past week, and I've been getting pretty comfortable with the keyboard, and my typing experience has been good. You do get a backlit keyboard, but there are only two options, either high or low. I thought we were finally going to get multiple brightness settings like the ones found on the MacBook Pro. The MacBook Pro has like 15 different settings for your backlight. The 4K version of the XPS 15 has a 6-cell 84 watt-hour battery pack, and the Full HD model has a 56 watt-hour battery pack. Dell is claiming up to 17 hours of use on the Full HD model and 11 hours in usage for the 4K version that I have. During my test, I've been getting around 6 to 7 hours out of full charge with 40% screen brightness. Keep in mind this is with video streaming, web browsing, and working on Microsoft Word. For gaming, expect around an hour and 30 minutes of gameplay on the battery pack. The SSD on this notebook is a wicked fast Samsung PM951. It's getting over 1500 megabytes a second on the read speed and just over 300 megabytes a second on the write speeds. If you want better performance, step up to the 512GB version or go all the way up to the 1TB PCIe SSD. There are two DIMM slots for your RAM, and this is rocking the latest PC4-1700 DDR4 RAM, which runs at 2133 MHz. 16 gigs of RAM will be fine for many of you guys, but you can upgrade to 32 gigs once 16GB sticks are available. The fans on this notebook are spectacular. During light to medium usage, you can barely hear them running. Dell did an excellent job of engineering these fans. The only time you'll be able to hear them is when you're running some demanding software like AutoCAD and some gaming. The XPS 15 is rocking an 802.11ac Broadcom wireless chip that has been pretty fast and trouble-free. My connection has been quick, and the range has been pretty good. The two bottom-facing speakers do a good job of producing loud levels of sound, but the lows and mids are not well balanced. You're hearing more of the highs than anything. I did play with the max audio settings, and if you fine-tune your EQ, you'll get much better sound than the default setting. Here's how they sound. Hey, what's up guys? Andrew here, testing out the webcam on the new Dell XPS 15. This is kind of weird because when you're Skyping with someone, you're looking at the screen and not the webcam. Check it out. Let's get to the conclusion of the late 2015 Dell XPS 15. This is an all-around great slim and sleek notebook that has the power to back it up. You're getting the latest Skylake quad-core chips, a fairly capable NVIDIA 960M, and you get the best 4K display on the market. This is a serious mobile powerhouse that I highly recommend to anyone looking for a professional notebook that can handle anything you throw at it. Alright guys, this completes my full review on the late 2015 Dell XPS 15. If you guys enjoyed it, please be sure to stomp on that like button and don't forget to sub. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.